We are live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday AMA, normally at noon today, but we moved it up for our special guest and for an announcement that we're going to do. But before we get into that, I'm going to let you guys know, guess what? Still a bear market, which means what? Lots of opportunity, right? The longer it lasts, the better positioned you can get for when the next bull market comes. And in my opinion, there's a lot of signs that are showing that, crypto is getting more and more ingrained in the technology in the future. Of course, Web 3.0, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, and how that's going to play out over the next few years. So it is really a great opportunity for the people that are able to not live in fear and not look and say, oh my God, it's going down, it's doing this, it's doing that, all the crazy stuff that's happening. And focuses on, is the technology valuable? Does it improve the current technology? And will it end up making things better, easier, faster, safer, more decentralized? And if your answer is yes, then you don't want this bear market to end next month, because you want it to go through this next period of time so you can get things well positioned. So tonight, guys, we have a special guest, Mr. Brian Schuster. Guys, I'm going to open this up with this. Okay, so we've now been working on a little bit over a year ago. I sat down with Josh. Josh said, look, I'm working on a project. We need some stuff done in the crypto space. He explained it to me. We looked at it. I got to meet Brian. I went out to California and met with some of the team members there, and had looked at the metaverse a little bit and kind of was along the lines of, I don't know if it's really going to have the traction. But once I met with Brian, I started to look into it, and I realized that it was a technology that was going to change our lives, just like the internet did, in every single way, right? We're on Zoom right now, having a Zoom call. 20 years ago, it wasn't possible, right? You had to go have special equipment for it. There's all kinds of stuff that you had to do. Today, Amazon came to the house like 4 times, right? We hardly go to the store. Matter of fact, we ordered something, I think it was 3 days ago, and it was at the house in like an hour and a half, right? All of these things that have changed. I don't use a travel agent anymore. I used to have a travel agent, right? And they'd book stuff for me. Now I can do it myself at midnight. I can drive down the road. I know you're not supposed to drive and order stuff, pizza or something like that, but hey, you can do it if you want it to, right? So the internet changed our lives in just about every single way. There's a new version of that coming, which is Web 3.0. It includes blockchain, cryptocurrency, NFTs, DeFi, a couple of other ones that are starting to come up. But one of the main things where this is all going to culminate together is in the metaverse, right? So all of these new technologies are going to come together and be a part of it. And a lot of people are out there, of course, Meta's technology looks like crap, right? But there's a lot of other people out there that are showing like they've got this great technology. They may or they may not. But here's the one thing, and this is what has got, at least my opinion is, Utherverse will be the dominant player in the space. First of all, it has the technology. Secondly, it has valuable patents that are essential, right, to operate and function a metaverse that you are going to want to be in. And I know some of you just said, oh, not me. Yeah, you also said you weren't going to have a microwave. You weren't going to use ATM machines. You weren't going to be on social media. You weren't going to use the internet. All the stuff that we say we're not going to do. But then all of a sudden, we're doing it, right? And I know some of you parents out there said, oh, my kid's not going to have a cell phone until they're 16. And now they're 9 years old and they got a cell phone in their hand, okay? So look, let's get the nonsense out of the way. In the next 3, 5, 8, 10 years, every single one of us on here will be fully engaged in some type of metaverse, because it will be a better way to shop online, book hotels online, go on before you go on vacations, looking at this stuff, to be educated. Education is going to move in that direction. So what does that mean? That means that right now, if that's going to be the facts and that's what's going to happen, you might go, well, Peter, it's your opinion. I consider my opinion pretty highly. because I'm able to see a lot of the trends and a lot of things that are happening. But we have the opportunity tonight, everybody on here, to participate in what is going to be, okay, you can write this down. I want you to, it's right now, it's 8:06 p.m. Mountain Time, okay? Peter Gantner's claim is that Utherverse will be the dominant metaverse in the world with 1 billion plus users, right? And it is going to dominate. And here's the key, guys. Tonight, we're going to share with you a membership opportunity that will allow you to position yourselves. Now, some of you guys might say, well, yeah, but I'm not going to use it. Listen, in 94, 95, the internet started, okay? And when the internet started, you would have thought, well, that's for nerds, geeks, right? That's for the fringe people. The everyday people were not necessarily using the internet, right? But what happened is, as it began to develop, now everybody's there. The same exact thing is going to happen in metaverse. It's just going to happen faster because video gaming, right? My son loves them, right? This whole generation, the whole social media thing. I actually believe that when in 5 years, if you look at the top 20, 30, 40 social media people that are making the most money, they will be people that figure out how to do it through the metaverse and engage, because the one-on-one engagement will be much more. And of course, then you can generate more revenue from that engagement online. Okay. So that's where we're at tonight. So what I'm going to do is, a lot of you guys already know Brian. We've had him on before, but I'm going to bring Brian up. Brian can kind of give you his spiel on it. And then we're going to talk about an opportunity that's available for you guys to get some membership packages, and actually even possibly, if you want to, purchase a business that you'll be able to launch in the metaverse. So Brian, welcome to tonight's AMA. We're grateful to have you on here and excited to be working with you and helping make Utherverse the #1 metaverse in the world.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. And thanks to the team over at Nexus and everybody in chat here. You make me blush. Yeah, you did a fantastic job sort of laying the foundation. What I would say, just to augment that introduction, for people who don't really understand, because I know that there's often confusion about what we really mean when we say metaverse. The way that I envision metaverse is really an immersive web. So it's really sort of the best of the internet meets best of video games, with the option of having it be in virtual reality. Really, the way that we are positioning it is where it's device agnostic. So there will be aspects of the metaverse that you're going to want to access on your mobile phone. For example, managing your business, managing your profile, managing your wardrobe and inventory, or communications with people. Then there'll be aspects which you're going to want to deal with just on a computer screen or a tablet. And that has a long track record of being very productive. And then there's going to be these fantastic events, which you're really going to want to experience in a virtual reality headset, where you go to, the one that everybody talks about, a concert, for example, but also vacation spots. I often think about being immersed in a headset, for example, just for a 15-minute break away from the kids. Not that I have kids, but other people's kids on a plane or something in the airport. Pop on a headset and I'm in my luxury cabin. I'm on my private jet, and that's the beauty of metaverse. When people push back, I often think about the pushback that I got in the early 90s about the internet, where people would say, nobody's going to want to network their computers together. Modems and all of that is just too complicated. And then, from venture capitalists saying, what would be the point of a website? Like, why is a plumber ever going to have a website? They can't fix your pipes over the internet. And I hear the same type of thing when I say, well, we do conventions, and conventions are such a spectacular use case for metaverse. And people say, well, there's nothing like being there in person. I say, well, okay, there is an aspect to that. But on the other hand, when you're there in person, you can't, unless you have a photographic memory, go back and say, what was that conversation that I had in front of this booth? But in Metaverse, you can have that all recorded, your entire experience. You can jump back, and then you could do meta commentary on it. You could say, you could cut that clip, send it to the guy and say, you remember when you said this and you made me this offer? Here's what I'd like to do about that. You can exchange data. And the beauty of it is you can't attend every conference. So, you know, if there's an NFT conferences in Vegas and another one in New York, and then another one in Miami and another one in, you know, Dubai, well, geez, maybe you want to go to that one in Dubai for an hour. Pop in the metaverse, and you're there. So anybody who gives pushback that I'm not going to engage in the metaverse is really, it's kind of humorous to me, because it's just a misunderstanding of really what metaverse is, which is the extension of Web 2 into Web 3 for real. The final form of human communication and interaction, where you have all of these technology augmentations, lowered cost structure. I mean, the beauty of metaverse to me is everybody can get a world-class education, because the cost to attend a Harvard lecture, a series of Harvard classes, to get a Harvard degree, you know, it's what's the unit cost? What's the incremental cost? It's essentially zero. So you can have classes with millions of people who get this Harvard level education. It's a great wealth creation machine. And it also, you know, creates wealth while at the same time being environmentally friendly, which is to say, I can go shopping. The more time I spend in the metaverse, the more clothing I need for my avatar, and the less clothing I need for my real person. So if, for example, I love collecting shoes, I can wear all kinds of shoes that maybe cost me 50 cents or $1 a pair for my virtual reality wardrobe shoes, and it satisfies that urge to shop, and it's really what I'm wearing, and I don't need to have it manufactured in China, shipped over, sold, right? So lots and lots of use cases. I mean, obviously I can go on all day about them. I love the real estate, which was really barely disrupted by Web 2. And, you know, you can now have a copy of your home, and you can say, what's this going to look like if I buy new furniture, and if I paint the walls, or I rip out this wall, you know, all the remodel that you could do for free, with no risk that it's going to turn out badly because you just hit the undo button. You make all kinds of friends where it's not social media friends that you're putting posts up to, but it's actually people that you're going to events with. It's spectacular for dating, where again, same sort of thing. It's not one-on-one online or one-on-one, you know, in a virtual environment, but this is a very natural. You've met somebody through your friends, or you meet somebody and they are hanging out with you and your friends, and you're hanging out with them and their friends at events in the metaverse. So many use cases, and these will of course become better and better as things progress. And the real challenge is, how do you execute this technology? How do you bring up this kind of infrastructure to support all of this? And that's where, you know, I just hats off to my team and my company, who've been with me for now 18 years live in production, right? And so we've worked through lots of, well, you know, lots of these problems that other companies haven't encountered yet. And we've already got the solutions, and we're now bringing them up in, you know, it's like I was saying earlier today, it's like a car where if you've got 99% of the car built, you know, the car engine, well, the engine doesn't work until it's 100% built, but you can be 99%. And, you know, we're actually tomorrow doing another final testing in this phase of alpha before we move into the next phase. And I'm very excited that we're actually on the cusp of starting to bring in outsiders as early as Thursday.
You can put yourself in line to be an early beta tester, right? So if you want to, like, if you're like, man, I can't wait to get in there, when we share some stuff with you tonight, you're going to put yourself in the early adopters to be able to get in line, to be able to do that. Let's see, Corey, I believe that the team over at Utherverse made a virtual you, okay? So maybe you might want to share that with them and kind of give your experience. I'm gonna let you share first, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. But if you want to go ahead and share that, that would be great. So let's see virtual Corey. How many people? Wait, if you put a 1 in on here, if you want to see virtual Corey. I mean, put a 2 in. If you don't want to see it, put a 1 in. Oh, buddy, nobody wants to see it. Oh, they switched 2s to me. Now they're putting 1s and 2s in. They're pretty tricky on here. So, all right, Corey, let's share virtual Corey here. Now, guys, when you get in there, you'll be able to make your own avatars. This is a custom one that was made, which, you know, in time, some of that will be available to people to be able to purchase. But you know, we wanted to show you guys, for me, it's the value in it, right? So if I'm, you know, able to look like myself, right, when I'm doing things, going to shows, going to meetings and stuff like that, I just think there's just so much benefit there. So you going to share, Corey?
Yeah, sorry, I just had you caught me off guard there for a sec.
All right.
All right, can you guys see this?
We got you, buddy.
All right. So this experience was pretty neat because it's pretty freaky how accurate it actually is. And you know, just walking around showing people are like, dude, that's crazy. That's just crazy looking. And Don had me, you know, just snap a couple of pictures up close, far away. I'm going to show you the picture of my tattoo is exactly spot on of my tattoo. I mean, if you see me in the metaverse or you see me in real life, you're going to be like, there's no doubt about it. That's you. So we got a couple of different angles from my profile. It's just weird. It's still looking at my own picture. It's like I have a twin out there and I'm actually looking at a real life twin. The lighting, just everything, it's spot on. The skin. And this part I think is my favorite part because, as you know, I mean, obviously I don't have hair and I've been, you know, praying that I could grow some hair back at some point. And yeah, Brian, God bless you, sir. God bless you. So yeah, I got some hair now. And man, I tell you what, my phone has not stopped ringing since I've posted myself with hair. Just what I needed. But very cool. I mean, down to the minute details of the beard hair, the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose shapes. I mean, it's incredible. That one kind of looks like a Baldwin. I don't know. Do you got? I'm getting a Baldwin-esque kind of the hair, just the hair, not the. You've
always had that movie star quality to you, buddy.
I went from and then here's the full, I mean, just incredible. And I can't see the chat, but if you guys don't, I'm just blown away. I mean, incredible. And this is what is right in front of us here, guys. I mean, this is right here at our fingertips and super excited. I mean, I wasn't prepared to show that because I'm still kind of like, you know, but now it's like I can't wait to get my guy out there and
well, and the neat thing, Corey, it is there are other services out there that can put together avatars. I don't think at that level of quality, because of course we've been perfecting this for a very long time. But that avatar is functional, so that is live in the software. And it can walk around, it can dance, you know, I mean, it's photorealistic, like the environments are photorealistic. And of course, you will be able to modify the body, you know, so, you know, you can take it in and make changes and whatnot, because, you know, these things are designed to function within the Utherverse. And that's really the questions that I ask when somebody presents me with, well, you know, here's a thing that can take a face scan and use AI and produce an avatar. Say, well, that's just a picture of an avatar. You know, that's not a fully rigged model with bones. You know, what we call, when we rig the avatars, you know, they don't have the same bones as real humans. We've got all of the bones for inverse kinetic So, you can grab things and move in a lifelike way. These avatars are rigged, and they're weighted, and they're live. So, this isn't just a picture. This is actually going to be you in the Utherverse.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys deflating my muscles a little bit so I didn't intimidate anybody.
Right, gotta leave some room for the inferior mortals.
Yeah, I think when you start looking at this stuff and seeing this, guys, you begin to get some understanding of what the metaverse is, what it's going to be. And of course, guys, there's lots of players that want to want to try to get in because they're beginning to see the potential of it. But to me, there's nothing like experience, right? I mean, you can watch a YouTube video and learn how to do something, but you're still not going to be that good at it, right? As the expert on the YouTube video. So imagine having the YouTube video person doing it for you, right? This is where we're at with Utherverse, right? 18 plus years experience. Me and Brian have had conversations. He sees the mistakes that other people are making. And the reason why he knows it is because he made them like 15 years ago, right? And he's like, oh my God, they're doing that? What? Stop, right? But, he's not stopping them because, at some point, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. And then what's going to happen is everybody's going to gravitate to Utherverse. And they're going to say, wait a minute, it's not working over here. Let's go build over here where it's working.
And the interesting thing about the mistakes, Peter, without diving too deeply into it, is a lot of these mistakes are intractable. So you code yourself, either in code or in your business modeling, where you're backed into a corner, you painted yourself into a corner, and you say, well, now we can't undo this without breaking everything, violating all of the agreements for land that we sold, right? Like all of it is premised on a faulty foundation. And that's why we're in our 4th iteration of software, right? I mean, our first generation, we said all of the mistakes after 6 months, we said, we got to rebuild it from the ground up. And then our second iteration, say, we got to rebuild this from the ground up. Now we've got like all of these things so well ironed out that, we're not, anybody who is theoretically a competitor, when they run into these brick walls, they just won't be able to continue, even if they were able to compete with us at the beginning, which I haven't seen really yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And again, you'll see people throwing stuff out there, but then it's like, we're going to deliver this in a month. It's 9 months later and they still haven't delivered anything. It shows you that a lot of this stuff people are able to fake, photos, Photoshop, that type of stuff on what's going on. So we're going to be excited, guys, in the beginning of the year to start having some of you guys get in there and be a part of it. So how do you put yourself on the list to be an early adopter? So what I'm going to do is, Dawn, if you can pull up the sales page for this. Now, guys, this right now, in the next couple of days, it's going to be going out to other channels through Utherverse and through other things and stuff. But because of the relationship that we built with Brian, this is the first place, you guys, it's first chance to get involved and be a part of this. And one of the things that, and I started this out with, a lot of you guys are saying you're not going to be in the metaverse, right? I want you to think about, it's 1994, okay? And somebody says, hey, there's this thing called the internet. Most of us blew it off. We waited till, 98, 99, 2000. When if we would have gotten involved with it in 94, 95, what you would have seen is the projects that were out there that you said, wow, this is pretty good. I like using this. Maybe I should get involved with that company. And your life would have been better, right? The later you got in it, the less opportunity that was there. And so what I love about what we're about to do with these memberships, guys, is it's going to give you a chance to get in there and start to see, where are the opportunities? Who are the early projects that are beginning to take off? What's the early metaverses that people are beginning to flock to? How do you know they're flocking to it? Because you're standing there and you're like, I was here yesterday and there were 14 people. I'm here today and there's 1,400 people, or a week later, 2 weeks later. Wow, this is one that's starting to grab some traction. Maybe I can position myself for an opportunity here because I'm an early adopter. and I said this the other day, and I know some people said, Peter, you probably shouldn't say that. It goes like this, okay? Participants are awesome. Spectators suck, okay? Don't be a spectator of Web3 and this metaverse and this whole opportunity. Be a participant. And so tonight we're going to share with you a way to be an early adopter, an early participant, and take action now, and not have your friends go, hey, have you seen this metaverse thing? But you saying to your friends, look, it's fun, it's engaging, I'm getting a lot of value from this, and being a leader in the space. So Dawn, with that, I'm going to go ahead. So Brian, Dawn will pull it up. If you want to explain to them how you guys have done it over the last 18 years, why you're doing it the way that it's being done with the memberships and the KYC and all that stuff, kind of the structure of where you see the metaverse going. We can tie that together, and then we'll go through the opportunity that's available for everybody that's on here and all the people watching in a replay and all of your friends. So one other thing, guys, is there will be tomorrow, the links will go out. There'll be an affiliate program here. So if you promote this to friends and family and stuff, and they decide to purchase one of these, you can make an affiliate commission. So Dawn, why don't you pull it up? Brian, why don't you take it away? Between the two of you guys, you can explain to people what are going on and what the opportunity is.
Sure. I appreciate that. And Brian, I have to tell you that you really had me at, I can take a 15-minute break in Utherverse away from my man-child. Are you kidding me? I can escape for just a little bit, because that's unheard of. And what I'm most excited about, though, because I love my kid, he's with me all the time. That's fine. I'm used to it. But to have a completely uncluttered closet, because I can get rid of all the shoe clutter and all the other clothes clutter and just have it in my closet in Utherverse and free myself from the clutter. Very, very exciting. Very exciting.
Yes.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, this, of course, is the page. I'm going to put a link in the chat. However, I'll do that in just a moment so you guys can go here yourself and do your thing. This is going to change a little bit in the next day or two, because we only did this page for you guys, for our community. So it's just a basic page here. You're going to get to go through Utherverse in the future and, you know, do that. But anyway, this is what we have tonight for you guys. So Brian, feel free to just take it away, chime in whenever.
Sure. Well, there's a couple of things that are on my mind before I dive into this that I just want to touch on. One is with regards to the closet. Another aspect that I love, I rarely get to talk about clothing in the metaverse, but there's of course going to be a correlation between things that you buy. There will be just digital goods. There'll be hybrid goods, which are digital goods for which you get a copy, or I should say you're really ordering the shirt or the clothing item, and you get a digital clone of that in the metaverse. The way that I see this metaverse evolving for closet is that every time you purchase an item of clothing with a digital clone, that digital clone will go into an inventory closet that you have. So you'll be able to sort and dress your photorealistic avatar in clothes that you actually own in your real closet. And you can have a memory of that. You can snapshot it to say, on New Year's or on February 20th, I wore this outfit, which I assembled on my avatar. I don't want to wear this to the same event again, right? So you've got this historical record, and you know everything that's in your closet. So there's nothing in the back of the closet that you've forgotten about. You can just sort through it, and you can save avatars and whatnot. The other thing that I wanted to say is, I love showing off the photorealism, but we haven't gotten into at all really the way that Utherverse is different from any other metaverse, and that is the Xeon browser. So really what we're building is a platform upon which any third party can come in, build their business, build a metaverse, and they're all interconnected, they're all interoperable. And because of that, we are we are creating a suite of tools that will allow people to do metaverses that are not photorealistic, that have all kinds of other flavors and appeals. So if you enjoy cartoony avatars, if you want to walk around as a, in a canine world where everything is a dog, right? These are, we're not going to be, when Peter says the dominant metaverse, the idea is because we incorporate any other aspect of metaverse, any other metaverse that a creative person can come up with, they can host it on our system. Okay, so those little pieces. Here's basically the offer. We've got the video is frozen at the entry point, but there's a little video there. And what we're doing here, we're offering packages that will give you early access to beta. Each of the packages includes some level of real estate, whether it's a private apartment ultimately or a business. And those are going to be accessible virtually. So you'll get, a URL for the browser, and you can distribute that, and people can click it and they'll appear at your metaverse property. And of course, there's commerce in the metaverse. We have a utility token. And so each of these packages comes with some starter tokens for you. And those are going to be the utility token. So depending on the package, of course, the real estate scales up, the token scales up. And along with the beta test comes the opportunity to reserve your username. So of course, the good usernames get snapped up in any sort of platform pretty quickly, and this undoubtedly is going to be the same. So those are the features here on this page. I don't know if you want to scroll this, Dawn?
Yeah, so I do have, go ahead. Sorry, Peter.
Say we came up with the slogan, be Bob, not Bob 427.
Yes. Yes, we did.
That's great. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So guys, for the community, I do have the packages laid out for you on the next page, and I'll go through that with Brian. We do register first to get you kind of in, and you can choose to be an affiliate or not. It's totally up to you. Let me show the video real quick. This was a video created by Utherverse. They've done some alpha testing, as you heard, and they've got some new material, and it's brilliant and beautiful. And I just want to show that off real quick. So let me just play this. It's 41 seconds long. So just watch this. This is basically a drone and it's viewing the entire city center, which I love. And it just kind of gives you a good overview. And Brian, you can certainly speak to any of this if you want, but just kind of a good overview of what's happening in the city center, all that they've built, all the beautiful buildings and billboards and businesses and dancing and hanging out with friends and food trucks, carts.
I mean, I love paying attention to the hair of the avatars, which looks so realistic, the face, the bodies, the clothing, which you don't really get to see over Zoom at all, because it's, just a few frames per second.
Right.
And the new footage that we're pulling out of the live gameplay, I mean, this is actual gameplay, of course. This is taken in the world, but you're going to start to see with the new footage, the user interface, crowds of live users with their name tags, the chat box being active, all of these features. There's so much under the hood here, like I was sort of alluding to, the ability to friend request and search and landmarking regions and going to domains. I mean, it's like a web browser for the metaverse.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So guys, the first thing you're going to do, it's really, really easy and simple. We tried to lay it out as cleanly and simple as possible. You're just going to register. So I'll just fill this out really quickly, and don't mind my autofill. It's just, I have that on Chrome. And then you just enter some information, basic information that we need for you. And you're going to have to verify your email and your phone. So you will see that a verification code was successfully sent. That was to my email, and I'm going to enter that right there in just a moment. And then the phone, same thing. it has to be a real phone, right? And a real email. So we're verifying you're a real person. Okay, that's important. And then the verification was also sent to my phone. So real quickly, I'm going to grab the email verification. Okay. And then I'll grab the phone verification. You can see if it's green, that means you entered it correctly according to what they sent you. So just keep that in mind. If it's red, you just have the wrong code. So try again, 3635. All right, and it's green again. Then you're going to choose a password. And I do want to be an affiliate. I want to share this with as many people as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and check that box. And then you're just going to
Favorite boss ever as your password.
I can't. It's the only one I can remember. I can't. So we're going to hit submit. And when you hit submit, it's going to take you to the actual page with all the packages. We'll go through this in just a moment. But you do need to acknowledge the following statements. I'm not going to read all of these, but you definitely need to read these. And then you have to check the box, I agree, because you will not be able to go forward and actually purchase a package until you read these and agree to these statements. These are very, very important statements. Anything you want to add, Brian?
Oh, this is just I mean, to characterize them, you're going to be agreeing to our terms of service when they go live. If you buy, for example, a one-year package, that package doesn't start today when you buy it. It starts when you activate it, or it will automatically start a year from now, a year after the launch of the platform. So there's that. And then there'll be a requirement in order to participate in all aspects of Utherverse to be age verified. If you don't, or not age verified, but sort of identity verified. And if you're not identity verified, some things may be restricted. I think that's the general overview of these things.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and agree. And then the next thing you want to do is you do want to connect your wallet. We do take Ethereum and USDT for these particular packages. Credit card will come sooner at a later date. It's not available just yet, but it will be. So I'm going to connect my wallet, and you're going to want to change your network to Ethereum. I know we mostly deal in smart chain for most of what we do, but you'll have to change it to Ethereum if you haven't already. And USDT is also ERC20, so it's also on the Ethereum chain for you. All right, the package options, you can choose any of these categories: personal, business, and network business, and I'll go through each of them. And then for personal, we did do a monthly for our community. We felt like it would help a lot of our community, so these are just different price packages for you. So you can see if you go to the page, which I'll put the link in the chat in just a moment.
Year you can get on the beta and participate in the beta by just getting a 1 month of the VIP or the UVIP. So it's really, if you're like, I just can't pull it off, but want to be part of the beta.
Right, absolutely. 1 year, different pricing. Of course, you are getting discounts on these. 2 years, okay, there's different pricing, discounted pricing, and 3 years. And you do see that you have amount of tokens reflected here for these purchases, for these packages. So keep in mind, if you're looking for a certain number of tokens to obtain to be able to use in World, you may, make your choice based on that.
The utility on the token. So what am I going to do? What are the uses that will be able to be used for when you get in World?
So, of course, in any kind of system where humans are interacting with other humans, there becomes a need for a unit of account, a kind of currency. And we've operated in our classic platform, we've operated a virtual economy for a very long time. So everything in the classic platform is purchased or sold or made available using our internal ledger unit of account called Raise. We've built on that now to create a blockchain token, which is going to be the utility token. And everything from, we're pre-selling these memberships for dollars, but once the platform is up and running, everything is going to be purchased using this utility token. So your monthly membership fees, your virtual property, tickets, clothing, avatar upgrades, special access passes or cover charges, services. So for example, obtaining a wedding license if you're getting married, or paying for a dating service to find somebody to get married, paying the wedding planner, paying the DJ, renting a venue, going to a nightclub, attending classes, getting a booth at a convention, attending the convention, buying things at the convention or the trade show. All of these things are going to be ultimately transacted using this unit of account, this utility token.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. We also
and I suppose I should footnote that by saying, and of course, it's going to live on the blockchain.
Yes.
So, regardless of what happens to your account, if you have tokens through this offer, those tokens will live on the blockchain, and you'll be able to connect that blockchain to your account in world. But regardless of what happens in world, those will live on a wallet.
Perfect. All right, moving on to the business accounts. There is no 1 month that was supposed to be taken off. I apologize for that, but there is a 1 year, a 2 year, and a 3 year. The prices, of course, go up as many years as you reserve, right? And also the tokens on this one. So 2 years, 2,500, 17,500 tokens. 3 years is 30,000 tokens and $4,000. And that is for a business. So you get one business, correct? Just a basic business venue. And then you'll choose that from a catalog of different venue types. And then that can be customized, accessed by URL only. Like you said, there's no portal door that's going to take anybody there. You just have a direct URL to that business. So that's one business. That's what you'll get. For network business, this is a beautiful package if you have multiple businesses, or if you want to, have other people in your family or whatever have their businesses with you, right? This is a business account with 5 business accounts given to staff or anyone. Venues are included, which can be operated together or independently. It's really a great thing. It is 60,000 tokens. We don't have the 1 to 10 years here. We will have that tomorrow, but you can do any number of years for this package. Right now, it's just limited to 1, but if you want more than that, I can certainly let you know when it's available tomorrow to choose more. So that's basically the packages, and you'll just choose your package. And when you click buy now, it won't matter if I do it. I don't have this much Ethereum, but go ahead. I will soon. And then I would probably do the network business account, and I would give it to all my friends here on staff. We would have a lot of fun. But it's basically going to do just like everything else, guys. It's going to open up your wallet. It's going to ask you to confirm it. You'll, of course, review everything, and then you'll hit confirm. And that will go ahead and take care of your transaction. Now, with all of this being said, when tomorrow comes, and I just closed it, I'll have to exit it later, reject it. So, and of course, with everything else we do, you want to disconnect your wallet, right? So just go ahead and lock your wallet, and you'll be fine to get out of this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and lock my wallet and lock it here.
So real quick, Brian, can you cover some of the businesses that have been built in version 1, version 2? Because I think a lot of people are going, they're thinking, okay, if I want to, let's say I'm somebody who I'm a aspiring clothing designer. What can I do with a business license in the metaverse as a aspiring designer?
Sure. Well, there are so many opportunities for creative people. the biggest businesses, the most, the ones that have been thriving in our classic system, clothing designers certainly right up at the top. It's a lot of fun to be able to produce fashion. And of course, with the photorealism now, the fashion can be not only top flight stuff, but it can actually exceed what you can do in the real world, because you can have animations that and particle effects that exist with the clothing. But clothing designers and fashion shows and selling clothing items, selling tattoos as a tattoo artist, hairstyles, body modifications. So, you know, experts at, yeah, I mean, I imagine they'll call themselves plastic surgeons, but experts at using our advanced user interface to modify your avatar in ways that you like. And of course, we're going to allow people to have multiple avatars, so you can save this avatar for this occasion that's photorealistic, this one which is less photorealistic because it's not quite as buff. There for you, Corey. You know, depending on or you know, different genders. Wedding planners, DJs are huge. Wedding planners are great because there are an awful lot of people that meet and marry in metaverse, and you know, you can really have a spectacular ceremony on a budget, and people can attend from all over the world. So, you know, and again, that plays in with the clothing designer. So fashion for the wedding gown designers is a specialty, and bridesmaids dresses as a specialty. Education classes, we run Other Academy. And so there's all kinds of software classes. There's all kinds, and so being an educator there, and a facilitator, businesses like, you know, running a nightclub or running the movie theater or a comedy club or a karaoke club, all of these kind of nightlife things are really big. Conventions, of course, off the hook, from big to small, and from conferences to large scale conventions. So, you know, to have a trade show floor and to have, you know, that requires management. That requires somebody who's doing all of the sales to the booths and getting the decorators, of course. These are the people that come in and who build the things like a booth or build out your business. So you don't have to be expert. You hire people out of the community, of course, for tokens, for the utility token. Yeah, you hire people out of the community and you say, here's the business that I want to set up. Here's how I want it to operate, or the trade show floor. And so all the subcontractors putting together the trade show booths. We have amusement parks, and I mean, it really, it's hard to go into all of the different, of course, you know, then there's the red light center stuff. So, you know, you've got the gentlemen's clubs and the dancers, dance teams in general, entertainment. So, you know, you have these whole entertainer groups who get hired out to perform at weddings or perform at events. There's memorial service and, you know, sort of undertaking services. So we have the memorial gardens. And of course, you know, this is really, again, one of these things, like, you know, I like to talk about the weddings, but on the other hand, somebody passes away, people from all over the world, they want to, you know, some people can't drop everything and fly out to pay their respects. So to have a memorial service, to have a permanent tombstone or you know, plaque in the memorial gardens, I mean, right. It's unlimited. Film festivals, music festivals, all of the charity, all of this stuff happens. But, you know, certainly, if you were to propose an area of business, I'm sure you could find people in the community who could figure out how that is going to play in the metaverse. And there's a lot of fertile ground right now. I mean, it's just, you know, virgin territory.
All right, excellent. So we have a question in here. So if you have a question, guys, put it in the Q&A. So Brian, question is, what is the relationship between already owning a Genesis trunk versus purchasing a membership?
So if you own a Genesis trunk, that's going to give you early access to beta. You're queued up ahead of these membership sales because the trunk sales happened prior. And the trunk does not give you a membership. The trunk gives you the trunk as an NFT, an FNFT. It'll give you these specialty clothing items which are not otherwise available, including some of these really amazing FNFT particle effect clothings as the rare or the very rare items. And only through purchasing the trunk or later directly purchasing the FNFT, there's a limited number of penthouse and sub-penthouse and condos in the Utherverse Tower. The Utherverse Tower overlooks the plaza, which is the main central focal point of all of the Utherverse. That's the concert plaza, that's where the premium shopping, and that's where the high-end events happen. So users with a trunk are automatically going to end up with one of those condos per trunk, along with a wardrobe and the trunk. As far as the memberships go, of course, you get what's in the various packages. I see in the chat a question, 750 for 3 years, monthly or total. It's the total price. And that gives you access as a user with the upgraded features. So I could explain the business model a little bit, which is to say, there will be free access to the Utherverse, but in order to have premium features, the ability to have a full wardrobe, not just the basic, free wardrobe. So you can extend your wardrobe, you can communicate in private. We spend a lot of effort figuring out how to protect minors, how to protect the community from fraud and phishing and all of that. If people are a paying member, they'll have the access to private message other users. They still won't have the ability to private message minors unless the minor has approval from their parents. So, if you're the parent, you can private message your child, or, if you're a family friend that's approved, right? But in order to do all of that, you need to have a premium account. And these are the premium packages. So everything from VIP to ultra VIP to the business accounts and the network business accounts, those are all these various upgrade paths. Those are going to end up being sold. I'm not convinced that we'll sell a network business account when we actually open. That may just be through pre-sale, but the VIP and the UVIP accounts, that'll be just a monthly charge. To give you the premium name tag and all of these other benefits, including the ones that we listed on the site.
All right, excellent. So another question is, can you explain the value of the tokens? Do they rise and fall in value? I can answer that one if you want, Brian. Guys, there's one utility token for Utherverse. It will be on the blockchain. It's not an internal token only. It's an open token on the blockchain. And so with any other digital asset, the marketplace, utility, a lot of that stuff will work on movement up, down, whatever it's doing. But remember, the value right now is you're going to use these to purchase stuff in the metaverse, set up your business, do all that type of stuff from there. Brian, you want to say something on that?
Yeah, I could talk about sort of the classic, in the classic system, people sell their raise to one another, and they can do that within the system or outside the system. The difference in the classic is it's not a limited number. There's an unlimited number of raise. We work very hard to keep the price of raise constant. So it's almost pegged. It's technically not pegged, and it technically has no value, right? But it's used as this medium of exchange. Here, I can't really talk about token for all kinds of regulatory reasons, but other than to say what you said.
And also too is, as this expands and grows, when other sovereigns come and build metaverses, they'll need this token in order to purchase building the build outs, you know, fees, licensing stuff, all that stuff. So this is the utility token of the entire, you know, Xeon browser, all the metaverses, the 1,000 metaverses, 10,000 metaverses being built. This will be the one that will transact with throughout all of that stuff there, guys. Okay. Let's see. Will avatars be included in this? Guys, everybody who has it gets free avatars, right? When you sign up, you're going to build, you'll get to design it, hair, short stuff. The one that Corey did will be will be down the road. Additionally, still working out some stuff on that where you can spend money and actually have a much closer replica of yourself created, but you can get pretty close. I've seen some avatars that people have done that are very close, you know, recognizable in that area. Brian, you want to say anything on that other than what I've said?
Yeah, I mean, you'll ultimately spend tokens on these upgrade paths. We certainly, you know, enjoy doing it. So when we've got the bandwidth to create these, and we can bring on new artists to do that. But, you know, even the avatars that you're going to get in world, they're within our metaverse. I can't wait to show you the video of the customization abilities of these avatars, because this is just going to be a lot of fun for people to sort through and, you know, change your body type, you know, change your facial features, your even down to your eyelashes thickness and, you know, length and your fingernails, like all of these things. People will become expert. But of course, to do what we did, you know, for Corey, that takes my art team. And so, you know, we'll do that, but it's not included, of course, with the packages.
Awesome.